conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the Town of Cottage Grove Plan Commission to hold a public meeting on Wednesday, January 28, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall at 4058 County Road N. The meeting was properly posted and we have a full house tonight up here at the table. We'll do the minutes of the last month's meeting, or November's meeting, excuse me.
Yeah. I didn't see any changes with the group.
Second. Motion by Buell, second by Chris. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. No.
Okay.
That was a long time ago. Next item, public concerns, public's opportunity to speak to the Plan Commission about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Anybody online, Kim?
Nobody is looking like they want to talk now.
Okay. Next item, Valerie and Joel Nyhus, petitioners and property owners of parcels 0711-242-9160-0 and 0711-242-9175-3 at 3857 West Jargo Road, conditional use permit application for a limited family business and nonprofit use, a horse rescue.
Valerie is online.
I'm sorry.
Valerie is online.
Okay.
I don't know if there's someone else
Does that mean
here.
Does it mean it's my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Valerie Nineheis. My son had an emergency appendectomy on Monday, and my husband is currently deployed, so I have to appear virtually today. We live and operate Northwinds Rescue and Healing from our residential property on Jargo Road, which is a Deerfield address, but technically Cottage Grove. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight and for considering our conditional use permit application. Northwinds Rescue and Healing is operated from our residential agricultural property and is an equine rescue that offers community-based programs. We provide a safe haven for horses in need, and we offer programs that serve children, families, homeschool groups, veterans, and first responders. Our mission is to help both horses and people heal, grow, and build confidence through connection and education. We are requesting a conditional use permit to operate our programs out of our accessory building in a proposed indoor arena. The property has long been used for horses and agricultural purposes. The only significant change we plan to make is adding the indoor arena so we can safely run programs year-round in Wisconsin's weather. Otherwise, the character and the use of the property remain consistent with its rural and farm surroundings. We understand the importance of being good neighbors because this rescue is also our home. Maintaining a peaceful and respectful environment is very important to us. 1 to 2 volunteers per day are on site between the hours of 8:30 and 5 p.m. to provide daily care for the horses. During this time, we clean stalls, provide food and water, basic care needs are met, and we work with the horses on training and handling. The indoor arena would be used primarily to safely train and exercise horses out of the elements. Currently, rain, extreme cold, or icy conditions like we've had lately prevent us from working with the horses safely, and the arena would allow us to continue to care and train year-round. We maintain no more than 6 horses at any given time in full compliance with the town ordinances. Because of this, our programs remain intentionally small and scheduled by appointment. Our Read to the Rescue program hosts 10 events to a maximum of 5 children at a time for 30-minute reading sessions, with 2 sessions at each event at either 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. Homeschool Days host 6 events a year with a maximum of 20 children from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. on a weekday. We host 15 veterans for group 15 veteran group sessions serving a maximum of 5 veterans at a time for a 2-hour session. Those are also between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. during the week. Healing connection sessions are individual one-on-one supervised appointments held Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. It's our intention to keep the majority of our programming on weekdays, maintaining a small-scale operation, and limit activities to those that serve the community. The indoor space we are proposing, again, is not intended to increase group sizes, but to keep everyone involved safe and out of the harsh elements when needed, like we had last week. We have not created excessive traffic, noise, or disruption, and we take pride in keeping our property well maintained and in harmony with the surrounding residential and agricultural landscape. Beyond caring for rescued horses, our programs provide educational opportunities for youth, leadership development, literacy activities, and free sessions for veterans and first responders. These services fill a real need in our community and are offered with compassion, responsibility, and professionalism. Approving this conditional use permit will allow us to continue serving the community, provide safe and structured programming, and remain a positive presence in Cottage Grove and Deerfield. Joining Cottage Grove Chamber of Commerce demonstrates how we are committed to working cooperatively with the town and our neighbors now and in the future. We would love to extend an invitation to come out to see what we do and how we do it. We thank you for your time, your consideration, and your support.
Thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions from what she said so far before I open it up to?
Yeah, so where exactly does she want to put the building? Is it in the black box?
Yep, nope, that's the residential part. So our barn is in the closer to the road. I don't know if you can see it or not, but our plan is to attach it to the current barn.
Okay. Right.
Just have a question on the parking. How much area are you adding for parking?
We have a space in front of our outdoor arena that we use for parking, and then if we have overflow for some odd reason, we use our back pasture.
Okay.
We very rarely need to use our back pasture.
Okay. I just questioned it just to let you know, there wouldn't be any parking to be done on Jargle Road.
That is not the intention, no.
Okay.
Because if you have 20 participants, you could have more than 5 cars, and that's what they show for parking on that one map.
We usually stagger them because when we have a session, if there is a group they usually come together. Like our homeschool groups is our biggest group of 20 kids, and that's participants. Honestly, normally we have groups that have at least 6 kids coming in one vehicle. They're just big families generally. And so they usually stagger park. So we usually can fit at least 8 cars back to back there.
And the volunteers are just volunteers, not employees?
Correct.
The education sessions that you say that you provide, do you have a classroom or a room that you have the folks show up in and do that? Or are they going to be
Nope.
free walking inside your arena, or how?
Yeah, the goal is to use the arena and the barn. So the education that we provide is basically how we care for our animals. So it's a lot of working with the horses. So it's right now we hold it either in the small barn if it's raining, which is less than ideal, or we are out in front of the barn or in the arena, outside the outdoor arena right now. And then
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry. And then the Read to the Rescues, we use like kindergarten mats, and the horses are in their stalls, which is in the current barn, and they just sit in front of them and read to them.
And what is your plan for paid employees?
We don't plan to have any paid employees. I'm the one that does all of the Healing Connection sessions.
What's your plan for handling manure in the winter time?
So right now we pile it in our back pasture, and then every spring we offer it to the community for free fertilizer. And the last 2 years, the whole pile's gone because people from the community take it. Works rather nicely.
Win-win. Win-win.
Yeah. I found the site plan map that we got confusing because it didn't show all of the property.
I mean, that piece right there,
Yeah,
it's on the back, you know.
Most of what we do is in the front part of it, which I think is why I didn't include the.
But for now, this isn't for another building. This is just a conditional use permit. So it's- whether the site plan shows the building or not, it's.
Correct,
Just
they're
trying
still
to
gonna have
picture the
to,
entire property. I mean, it's the 6.4, but we don't see it all here.
Well, I think this map shows it, they own this inside and all
Right.
that.
But this doesn't show the property to the west on top of the ridge. So,
does anyone else have any questions up there?
the height of the new building's gonna be 15 feet.
What I got?
Is there a height restriction? They got rid of
35 is the max.
Yeah, with the roof, it should be 25 max.
your peak, is it 25?
Yes. Are there going to be any facilities out there in the barn?
Like, we are having an outhouse built. It'll be insulated, but putting a bathroom in complicates everything, and it's not our intention to have that big of where we need an actual bathroom. We have it coordinated to have the outhouse serviced often, and if we need more facilities for some reason, we can get more porta potties, but we're having an outhouse built right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can have sanitary and accessory buildings.
Correct.
Just checking.
Yeah.
But they're telling me that it has to be deemed a commercial building, which changes the rules and complicates everything, but that's neither here nor there right now. We're still working out the logistics for all of that aspect. But porta potties or an outhouse is being built. And it will be ADA size.
I will open it up to the folks out in the audience. Does anyone have any comments to make one way or the other concerning the application? Okay.
Motion to approve the conditional
You
use.
gotta Go through your standards, don't you?
We'll do our magic,
Standards for conditional use.
yeah,
permit.
that's,
8.
all right.
Got a motion on them all.
If you'd like, go ahead.
I would move that the 7 items under standards for conditional use permit have all been met.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Tom?
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion by Chris, second by Tom, to approve the application checklist for conditional use permit for 7 items. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I mean, they put up those signs, but
Good question.
do you want to worry about it?
Chris asked the question if we want to worry, we have a concern about possibly them walking the horses in the ditch line along the road, and although there was signage, I
We
mean, it
put,
just,
put up signs last year or so.
I don't,
Entitled to do that.
Whether they're walking in the road right away or on private property.
no,
Road right away.
technically it'd be right away,
Right away.
but there's signage.
There's already signage there now saying not to.
No.
No, that there's,
Horses.
that there's horses.
She actually paid for those signs, asked for and paid for those signs.
Right.
So that was what had been asked for last year or so?
Mhm.
Okay. And the board felt it was okay.
I don't think it wasn't a board decision, we just.
She just
she
did it
offered
just to
pay
be
for 'em, and
proactive.
Dan
Dan
put
Asked
them up.
about them and Dan offered, put them up if she paid for them. It's just a caution sign.
Yeah.
Let drivers know that there might be horses in the area.
Well, I remember years ago, they had a sign up that said to the horses, you know, they would walk along there. But back in the 80s. So, way back. You're old. I know. Thank you.
Yeah, everything.
Anything else?
Motion to approve the conditional use permit for limited family business and nonprofit use for horse rescue with a limit of 6 horses on the property at any one time.
I'll second.
Motion by Chris, second by Troy, to approve the applicant's request for horses and a nonprofit not to exceed 6 horses. Is there any discussion?
Say permanent or retract?
I'm sorry,
Permanent cup?
the CUP?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the CUP.
Yes,
Is it permanent or retract?
yes, it'll be permanent. She didn't ask for,
As long as they own it.
correct.
Okay.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you.
So Valerie, that'll be at the town board level next Monday night. Just so you know, I'll send you another agenda.
Okay, thank you.
She's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's. Moving on, next item, preliminary plat review for Kennedy Hills, second edition. And we have Nick, our engineer, and Mark Rockers, our planner, with us tonight to lend their expertise. Nick, I'll let you throw your 2 cents in right from the beginning here.
Yeah, overall, it's very similar to the previous phase slash the first edition, where this is the second edition. For this particular plat, overall, I did have comments on everything. The drainage did look adequate, where everything was shown at a 4-to-1 slope from the ditchway for easy accessibility for mowing. There was some items that did stick out for concern, potentially discussions where I know the biggest one that was against saving trees was the drainage ditches that were along lots 42 verse 38 and lots 44 verse 46/7. There is some existing trees in there that are meant to be kept, but that pushes a drainage ditch further into those lots that I was recommending the easement, so it could hinder or affect future septic systems from that. So there's obviously one of the things the town likes to do from previous phases, and also this phase, is keep those trees. So something to consider or talk about is potentially removing some of those trees or putting an easement in place where they sit, but it's just going to be a unique spot for a drainage easement along those 2 lot lines for how the water flows. Did have a comment too for the along 46 through 43, adding a culvert before it connects onto the existing development there to reduce the amount of water flowing into that, because currently there is a berm built up on that existing roadway just to keep it, most of it on this development going into that stormwater pond and discharging appropriately, meeting the stormwater management requirements. Overall though, I did also talk about in my review letter where it is all of them are the local roadways construction except for the Wooded Ridge Trail, which has that 70-foot of right of way, which is extension from the previous phase. Keep that up for bike paths, which would then have that connectivity for pedestrians/bikes to connect to Outlot 1, which would be the future park area / adjacent to the easterly park there, American Parkway, I believe it's called, off the top of my head.
Nick, I think Farmstead also has a 7-foot right of way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Sorry. and-
No,
6.
Nick, is the water running on Homeland that's going to the east toward the outlot? When it reaches Conestoga, is it gonna be going, are there gonna be east-west culverts underneath Conestoga to get the water over to the
yes,
to the outlet then?
there is east-west culverts to make it to that outlet for the stormwater management. However, it does show it continuing then going to the north, where that's where I was recommending another culvert for that additional drainage that doesn't get caught there, and also what's also being flown from the back lots before going into, continuing to the north to that existing development area that was.
The original American Heritage back there.
Yes.
Okay. And is the phase 2, phase 3 limits to the south? Is that kind of where the contour breaks? So,
On the eastern side of it, roughly where contour breaks, but not quite. On the western side where it breaks a little bit further into the phase 2 limits. That's why they, if you recall, there was a temporary stormwater device that was constructed in the farm field area to catch that construction area of phase 2. All impervious areas that were constructed just to get something caught from a stormwater management perspective before the new device is going to be built in Lot 1. Is there any questions on the drainage?
Your preliminary plat document note that you wanted in there, could you explain that to me?
Yes, so just having all property lines have a 6-foot drainage easement, just for the perspective of, let's say one house gets built right away and 5 years down the road, a second house gets built. But when those houses get built, they're pushing the water towards the lot line where it discharges either towards the roadway or behind their lot. We have seen problems in the past where the later house gets built and someone's concerned, even though it's going a foot on their particular property, it's navigating the same general direction. So having that just drainage easement, it reduces future residential conflict from one to the next.
Okay, thank you.
See in Nick's comments here on sheet G5. If the town shall determine if Kennedy Road shall have a 5-foot bike lane instead of a 3-foot asphalt shoulder, as shown in the town's ordinance for minor collector streets. At what point does that get determined?
So Kennedy is being updated during this development, they supply plans in there, and I know they just showed an asphalt shoulder, I didn't know if you wanted actually striped or bike.
Just that gets clarified, so Corey knows what he has to do
Oh, 100%.
and everything else. you know.
Yeah, that's another feature of the plat that's been worked out is that the developer will widen Kennedy Road from where Farmstead Road connects to it, which is roughly where the current rock gravel drive connects all the way south to BB.
So a 5-foot bike path as opposed to a 3-foot distance.
Yeah, so how it's shown on there, it just adds on, so the existing roadway is roughly 20 feet wide on Kennedy. So 2 10-foot lanes, so they're adding a total of additional 7 feet of asphalt onto that, where they just have, making that 10-foot lane a 14-foot wide travel lane, and then a 3-foot asphalt shoulder, where I didn't know if instead of having that 3-foot asphalt shoulder, if you actually wanted to make it a 5-foot bike path, painted out as a 5-foot bike path, just very similar to your neighborhood connection, just like on Wood and Farmstead. And then it would have a 12-foot travel lane. That was just clarification. I don't know if there's a lot of pedestrians that walk it or bike it, just then also connects those areas and a little bit safety if there are bikes on that lane, but they still could use a 3-foot asphalt shoulder as the same thing, just gives a little bit extra more buffer when vehicles are driving by.
The pedestrians could go either way. The challenge, if you stripe it as a bike lane, is that people might be encouraged to ride their bike against traffic, which isn't necessarily a great idea.
And the intent, I guess, just clarify, wasn't stripe it as a bike lane, but to move the striping, the fog line to be 5 feet away from the gravel edge instead of 3 feet.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
No, just to clarify, I might have probably stated during my memo.
I'm assuming you're okay with the soil evaluation that was done 8 years ago? Still okay?
They are going to supply some additional soil evaluation, just get additional clarification on that. Some of it in this particular area was mainly for stormwater management to determine infiltration and so forth. So they are supplying, they'll supply a little bit more data to properly determine it. But I don't see it as being a concern just because the soils are very similar to the previous phase.
We're getting that.
Yes.
So.
That-
Results. Sorry.
As the commission knows, and there's been extra care and attention to make sure that all lots being created can have a conventional or at least a mound septic system and wouldn't have to have a holding tank. So we just want to make sure early in the process before there's a commitment to lots being drawn that they can in fact support that.
It's going to be my next question. Thanks for bringing that up. Going back to the 3-foot versus 5-foot, anybody have an opinion one way or the other?
Well, the town could probably decide that at any time, the asphalt's going to be there regardless.
Correct, but I
So-
just, as long as we're all together and we're at this stage, I mean, if somebody has, an opinion one way or the other and maybe some rationale behind it, they'd be willing to listen and, I mean, even if we had a 5-footer and going with a 12-foot travel lane, that's 2 foot wider than what's already existing there.
There is a lot of foot traffic and stuff on Kennedy Road as it is now. I would, seeing what I see on Kennedy Road, I'd go with a 5-foot path.
On both sides of the road.
No, it's just on the one, because we aren't, Right. Who's doing anything on the other side? If it ever gets developed, yes, we'll probably. have it. Chris, your thoughts?
I'd be okay with that. There is foot traffic.
There's a lot of foot traffic, bike traffic and stuff there already, so,
People exercising.
oh yeah.
Mark?
That
It looks like the 5-foot bike lane, bike fences. Yeah.
That's a bike
No, but just,
with the stripe there.
yes.
Also on engineering, on this handout, why is the sewer and water listed as Cottage Grove, Village of Cottage Grove? Where? Sewer and water listed as Village of Cottage Grove, why is that?
That's, if there were sewer and water, that's who would be the supplier. If it's not.
You're just supposed to say that. Oh, yeah.
You need to list all utilities on.
Yeah, it's just standard practice.
I thought it was something
Oh. What's the one going up at?
Mhm.
Mark's comments are pretty in-depth and
Yes.
seem to usual excellent job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're gonna go Energy Star.
Well, that's one of the options. So, just briefly, to kind of set the stage, this land is planned for single-family housing. It's actually exempt from the TDR program. It's close enough to the village. They did record the necessary development rights for the previous phase. I confirm that. The design and layout meets all the kind of guidelines. It doesn't have to meet all of them. It meets at least 80% of them. And so there's good zoning and plan consistency. From just grabbing onto one of Nick's comments, he commented that there's kind of unique backyard drainage because there's competing objectives, and I think you kind of get that. Tree line along the lot line, and then the proposal is at least the drainage would be in closer, to the back porch of these houses than the tree line because of that. Fairly, not fairly typical, but not surprising if there's a goal to preserve trees along tree lines. The other aspect that I commented on quite a bit is that the proposal to combine park space and stormwater management and to kind of work between American Heritage Park and this one to make it all work. So I'm not sure if this came up at a plan commission, but it certainly came up at a meeting we had with the developer over the summer. The original concept had stormwater here, new park here. We thought it would be wise and create a greater sense of green space and opening and so forth, just to put them both together instead. It also helps buffer the lots to the north a little bit. In order to do that, part of the sort of the barter concept was to take a unused or limited use portion of American Heritage Park South and allow them to use it for an stormwater infiltration basin. So on a net basis, they would still be dedicating more than enough usable parkland to meet their dedication requirements, even considering that removal of that park space. The plan, as you can see, suggests a driveway in that park leading to a parking lot sketched out to include 32 spaces. And then at the east end of that, a pathway that would lead towards the park and recreation spaces. A little bit north of where the playground is. What's that?
How wide will that path be? And will it be gravel, asphalt?
It's shown as asphalt. I don't know, do we have a width? Is the width clear on the preliminary?
I think it's probably 10. That's usually what I do. 10.
About 10 feet.
Fine.
And it, eventually it'll get in the park and sort of peter out, unless the town would want to continue it further.
Well, I guess I would just foresee that town crew, when they mow that they would park in that parking lot and want to drive the lawnmowers across that path to mow the soccer fields.
The other unique thing about that, they're shown on their engineering plans, and this is another maybe conversation to be had both among the plan commission and the developer, as to who's going to build the parking lot. One option would be the developer. And if I'm the developer, I'm sitting up saying, okay, well, what kind of consideration might there be for a reduction in the park improvement impact fee as a result? So that could be worked out in the final development agreement, certainly. So if I see one vote for developer, if that's the direction we could, I'll make sure. But they'll have the crew out there. They'll probably be able to get it done cheaper and more efficiently.
Typically, yes.
And the people that estimate the quantities and costs can figure out what the value of it is, and that could be the basis for a credit against the fee. But I mean, this is totally my opinion. I think it's a very creative way to deal with park and stormwater in this area. So appreciate the cooperation to try to make it work.
Everything fits well within the plan, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's going to enhance American Heritage Park, spread some of the parking demand, both east and west of that park, and accomplish a lot of good things. Beyond that, I had my typical picky little comments on the plat that I think all should be addressed. At the final plat stage, we are in preliminary plat. This is a chance for everyone to throw all their comments in, so that they get addressed during the final plat stage and final engineering plans, and then in the development.
I assume he's planning on taking the silo and the shed down.
I heard maybe not, so I'll let him talk about that. The silos.
Oh, yeah, can I leave them? I don't know. Just a landmark, maybe?
I kind of miss them. I kind of miss them.
I think it'll probably depend on whether you can get a buyer to buy them and accept the responsibility for them. Yeah.
They can get knocked down. It's only a few minutes, so.
The word attractive nuisance pops into my head.
Yeah.
I mean,
Could store my used tires there,
well,
collect all the junk from the neighborhood.
Yeah, attractive place for 11-year-old boys to play.
it's a stave silo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Use the climb stave silos.
Not on those ones.
So, I mean, growing up, I wasn't a farmer, but we lived on farms, and, the silo it's always, to me, a sign of what was or still is a farm, and rural and farming and everything. And whether it fits in with this development, yeah, I'm open, to hear somebody else's opinions, but, the building for sure, but there's something about a silo. It's almost like a windmill. an old farm windmill, it just. But I'm only one person.
Sell the lot, silo on it, leave the silo in there.
Would you buy it with a silo on there?
Oh, yeah. They build the deck up on top of it. I'm almost done with my house. I'm not that far away from it.
So you
Project.
haven't done the basement yet, have you?
So if that was the case, that we did leave the silos and somebody wanted to put a structure up there, and it came before us.
Well,
would we
no, the
allow it?
county would turn it, the county will turn it down. I know for a fact the county has turned down many of them. Yes,
Seriously?
they have, yeah.
What, they've got one?
Yeah.
In Randall Lake County Park,
No, I haven't.
there's an old silo there that they built. They've got a stairs going up to the top. and a
really?
Platform up top.
Yeah.
That's county one.
So if you were gonna take it down, Corey, what portion of your development would you want to do? At the beginning or towards the end?
What's that?
The silo.
Oh, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's full of box elder trees. I'd probably, to get those buildings out, I'd have to, the silos it doesn't matter. They can go anytime.
I was just thinking, if you were to leave them, because somebody may want them.
Yeah.
You could do it towards the end if nobody wanted it.
Yeah, that's fine. It don't matter to me either way, so.
I got a feeling once you get ripping into it, some are gonna shift in those silos and.
They're pretty tough. Oh, yeah.
I'm not opposed to leaving them. Want to sell them.
I guess we would, what's everybody's thoughts about keeping the status quo until the final plat, and then we just,
For that,
We can decide between now and then.
If it's
yeah,
his,
I mean,
it's his silos, so
what's that?
it's his silos.
Yeah.
But I think eventually it's a maintenance issue and it's gonna have to come down anyway. Is it better sooner than later? If you can't put a deck on it, well,
Surely you got the equipment there.
what's it? Yeah, you got the equipment there too. You can't put something on top of it, what good are they? In my mind. Unless you wanna make them a cell phone antenna.
I guess I'll leave it up to the commission. I mean, we leave it till the very end and make our final recommendation to the, as far as the silo when they,
That final plat
yeah,
time, yeah.
you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Wouldn't have to take them down till we seed and landscape everything, so.
That northern property line, how many of those are box elders? You know?
Northern, I think a lot.
Majority of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any hardwood in there till you get in a ways.
I would expect
There's
it
a
to
few
be.
cherries along the edge.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, mostly
Mostly what?
box elder mostly, but there's a few cherries.
Few cherries, a few oaks.
I just hate to have you guys make long-term usages of easements if you don't really need to. Those trees could. I don't know, but a valuable box elder in my,
I would take them back to the hardwood,
yeah.
trim them all back. They're just gonna keep growing out.
On the east side of the plat from 37 to outlot 1 or 3, whatever we're gonna call it, I would say you have to remove any old fencing that is in there.
Well, that depends how far back it is in the woods though.
If it's on your property, you remove it.
When I do a bunch of tree damage though, trying to get it.
No, you won't. You don't have to drive a utility truck back there to pull fence posts and wrap up the woven wire or barbed wire.
Yeah, it's mostly barbed, I think,
There's fence in there.
along that tree line there, in there. Yeah,
It's not real thick though, 10 feet wide maybe.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it's probably not that hard to get to, but you want kids running through the barbed wire.
Because otherwise the homeowners are going to complain to the town to do it.
Yeah, obviously the park's on the other side, so there's people aren't gonna get to the property. You know, there's two places where there's trees along the lot. There's along the north side, and there's a little offset drainage way on the north side too. And there are single family lots to the north of there. And box elder or not, my guess is that they might not be too happy if too many trees come down. But maybe, I mean, to the east of 38 through 42, to the east of there is the park. So I would say if there are trees to be removed, those would be better candidates, because no one's going to complain for their removal. And then that drainage way could move along that line if that's what it wants to be.
Yeah, they're gonna have to take some out anyways, just to get the power in.
So how do you balance on the north side, 42 through 46? And how do you balance tree removal with a new, with the old?
Well, a lot of those trees aren't on the flat area, so they're going to stay at the properties to the north, want them to stay. I guess I'd wonder how utilities and drainage worked on those subdivision plats when they're developed with trees in their backyard. I assume they've been there for a while.
With the new infiltration basin that will go into the Weston Park, will he be responsible for reclaiming any damage in that existing part from the construction, I assume?
Yeah, and we should make sure that that's clear in the development agreement.
That stormwater pond, how deep can that water be in there, 6 feet? Or is it gonna hold maybe just 2?
The wet pond has 5 feet of storage. That's pretty standard. So that helps settle out any sediment that gets in there. So it'll always have that amount once it fills up.
And the wet pond is the one labeled stormwater pond?
Yes. Yeah.
Safety shelf as well shown.
Yeah, the grading will update a little bit over there. This is still, we haven't been through Dane County's stormwater review yet, so they'll probably have some comments on what they'd like to see.
The only, what popped in my mind was what happened, I believe it was in Sunbury.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're aware of that?
Yep.
Are you, is there gonna have to be a fence around this, or are you? not
We
too concerned?
We do these all the time in subdivisions and they don't have fences typically.
Okay.
It's unfortunate what happened, but I don't know how you could possibly fence them all in everywhere. It's just,
Okay.
that's partially why we have the safety shelf. Like if somebody falls in, it's 10 feet where the slope is like 2%. So it's much easier to get out if you fall in and the slope is really steep. So those, they always have that.
When you do any tree removal, do you chip that brush or what do you do with it?
Burn it.
Burn
We did last time. Unfortunately,
it? Just wondered if you chipped any of it.
no. Had the fire department out last time, so. No choice.
Comes with a burn permit.
Yeah.
One call to them.
Been there than that.
Training, right now.
That's right. Yes, they are.
There's no rush, but when you guys are ready, there is a resolution, I think, in your packet that you could use to make your recommendations.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Yes, sir.
I've got some questions about lot 37, the new development, all of lot 1. I live in lot 23, chain link baseball backstop at the park. It's my yard. Is it my understanding that 37 through 42, which way is the water going to flow on that? Is there going to be a ditch along that tree line to those retention ponds? How is that?
Yeah, that's what.
Part of it goes one way and part of it goes south?
So from 37 to 42, it all goes to the north.
It does go to the north.
Yep, that high spot is roughly right between 37 and 55, where water's going both directions and
Correct.
between phase 1 and phase 2.
All right, I was just
Phase 2 and
wondering
3.
how you were gonna accomplish that. The lot directly to the south of me, it's 24. My neighbor, that is a mother. I see water come through that lot like you would not believe. And I think they're gonna have a failure one of these days on septic and God knows what else. Just so you know. It's a sponge back there.
Well, it'll probably end up being much better because we're
Maybe it
gonna
will.
collect all that
Yeah.
water. It's part of Dane County stormwater
Okay.
requirements that we reduce the amount of water.
Just making you aware because my back corner, I have a river that comes through there when we get rain and get all that runoff from the high spot, starts heading east into the park. It's something else. It really hauls the mail. So. The other question I had was, we do have power lines back through there. Is that all gonna go underground? That,
Everything's underground.
even the existing line I have? Come on.
Only if you
Not
wish.
much.
Only if you wish.
That'd be a good idea.
Don't want to be like the south down there now with power lines down.
Man. Anything else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, we live just north of that retention pond that's being proposed there.
Swimming pool.
We live north of the pond.
Can you state your name?
Yeah. So I had some questions about that pond. Right now, we do have a lot of, if there's a spring melt, there's a lot of flow coming off the field. It's a pretty major river that runs right along the northeast corner there. So that pond is, I imagine, even with more impervious surface, is going to be designed to hold all of that. It seems like that's a lot of liquid there, because there's no other infiltration that I can see designed throughout the rest of the property. The existing, it sounds like a temporary holding pond is going to be removed. So I guess I'd like to see some infiltration elsewhere on that property, someplace, because that's gonna have to be a pretty sizable pond to hold that volume of water that comes off that field currently. And, then we'll have more impervious surface in the future there.
Do you have the ditches also being utilized as some infiltration that's flowing through those, because those compared to sometimes, depends how it was farmed previously. If it was tilled up and then there's no vegetation, where those ditches will account for some infiltration. But I know Dane County did update their standards above and beyond what DNR has for the state to be more aggressive, to hold all the way up to 200-year events for the new ponds, which came into effect, I think, a few years ago, we'll say. So they did increase their standards.
You're talking about the culverts along the road in terms of ditches, is that, I'm sorry?
No, so just the grass ditches
Mm-hmm.
themselves will have some sort of infiltration compared to a farm field that doesn't have any crop growing or anything, where it's gonna be sheet flowing across. So that'll account for some infiltration.
Yeah, I mean, but still now, those ditches become rivers, even up on Conestoga there, when there's been these big rain events, so.
It's all channelized pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So you don't go through this very often, but Nick mentioned there's tough stormwater management standards that the county enforces. And they'll have to submit a detailed stormwater plan and calculations to show that they can handle the water in that basin. And if the calculations don't work, then they'll have to change their plan.
And is that pond, it sounds like it's intended to hold water? The current one, the temporary one, seems to have standing water so far.
Ever
but
since it's been there, right?
will the new pond, is that intended to have water in it most
Yeah,
permanently?
so the wet pond is a permanent water.
So it will be my
surface.
new swimming pool.
And then the infiltration area will not have standing water
Okay.
in it. That will just be plants and will look really nice once it's grown in.
And then will they periodically, like every 10 or so many years, like kind of any sediment that ends up accumulating in there, there'll be, that's part of the plan for long term too.
Typically, you're seeing around 20 to 20 years is around the average where it has to be cleaned out. The infiltration, as she mentioned, is going to be dry, but there will be small periods of time that it will have water. So it won't be dry
Yeah,
all the
it slows
time.
it down.
Yeah.
It'll get water in it, and then after a rain event, it'll disappear.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Don't want to walk away with, you'll
It will
never
be
see,
bone dry.
Yeah, no.
90% of the time
Yeah,
it will,
it
95.
should not be ponding
Yes.
water.
Right.
because
If
plants
it is
will
a
die.
Yes.
And then, I'm just curious in terms of the map, because there's a path that goes through that woods, just north of the infiltration basin. You kind of see the lines there. Is there going to be people going to be able to go like around that? I mean, I know it's not going to be full all the time, but just to get to the park that way too, because right now they can just come out that path and there's the park.
You could have like a gap a little bit between the two ponds. I don't know, I don't have the path on my
Yeah,
plans
yeah.
to know exactly where it is.
And I can show you that part.
Yeah, that wouldn't really work, 'cause that's private land to the north of it. The path would have to go to the east of that infiltration.
Yeah.
pond, just to move it over
Just-
that way
yeah.
a bit, if there is to be a path.
Yeah, I mean, it just might have to go like this way a little bit.
It's just like a grass path, right? It's not a.
Yeah, that-
surface.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it wouldn't be hard,
Easy to-
but it's just to give people the
Yeah.
access that they have. Because yeah, this is a lot too for the people here.
Yeah, we're not planning on grading in there at all, so it should maintain there, and then
Yeah,
when we get the pond in, there will
Yeah.
still be grass on
yeah, and
that
then you,
side
yeah,
of it.
that's
so
what I
it
was
should be
thinking. There
okay.
should be plenty of space there, but yeah, just if it dead ends right there, then that.
Yeah.
Other question, do you have any questions on that? It was just like the timeline for, I mean, if things go through the approval process, at what point should we be expecting like equipment out there to start doing the roads or doing the bonds and all that sort of stuff? I mean, just high level, I'm not holding you to anything, but,
It'd be like midsummer,
okay.
summer.
And then do you plan to, I imagine, scrape like you did for this first edition? And then move that somewhere, where would that be? Oh, that pile of dirt, which, there's a lot of dirt stuff blowing out for that. the current-
Everything's gonna balance. We're gonna make it
Just
balance.
move it all around so that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it
it's
won't be
great.
like the first edition then.
Oh, the first 16 lots?
Well,
You know,
the
Big
first
sand pile?
edition,
That big sand pile you're talking about?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, there won't be anything.
No.
It's all gonna be, we'll make it balance. So,
So it looks in the drawing, all the water's pushed to the north, pretty much.
In this edition.
So the whole- I'm looking.
Yeah.
And then some water can even go past the stormwater pond, correct?
There is a little bit of output from the stormwater pond. We collect all of it and then we're controlling it. So then there's an outlet into that drainage way that's already established right now.
Because there's that piece of Conestoga Trail past the pond. I'm assuming there's some inlets in the ditches that go to the pond.
We will lose a little bit from that road extension. It's just, we don't have storm sewer, so we don't have any inlets to put in to collect it. It's pretty minimal. Like, we still meet all of Dane County standards for our stay on.
Okay. I'm just curious if there was a massive rainstorm. Would it be all the water be able to make it to the pond? I'm gonna say most likely not. It would overshoot, go to the north.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. What we are gonna do is make sure those ditches are really established at that connection point, because right now it looks like there's almost a mound of dirt in between them. So we'll make sure there's a good drainage path.
You mean at the end of the road? needs to be
Yeah.
blocked Off now?
Yeah.
That's the.
So
What's that?
the drainage should go east to the pond and then to the infiltration area and then
Yeah.
from there, right?
Yeah, so basically it'll, there is a culvert right here. So the ditches will go here and here and it'll go over.
There's ditches there.
So you're saying there will be one there because there's not one now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send it, yeah, that way and then if it overflows.
Yeah.
Should be better. That's.
Down through those trees. Yeah. Walking path.
Yeah, I think by spring or something, start taking.
We're not gonna have a problem with flooding. Yeah.
That's where it all goes anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
it's all going there now. Theoretically, yeah. Anything else, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I would,
Not every day, but there's, I'm on site every day somewhere, so.
entertain a motion.
Trees.
Well,
Well, so the flat review.
Well, the resolution is the.
If you adopt the resolution, you'll recommend that.
Yeah, so.
2026-1-22.
Okay.
Move approval of resolution 2026-1-28. Mark, do you have your Energy Star in this resolution? Or do I need to add it in my motion?
No, they don't have to do Energy Star, Chris, as long as they're meeting enough of the other standards. That's just one of the ways to get to the conservation standards, design standards. So, I mean, it's not a requirement. It's just one of the tools, and I don't think they had that in the previous plat, so. But they had more than 80% of the rest of them, so they're cool.
so now, do we want to include Mark's letter?
It's referenced in the resolution already,
Okay.
so it's next.
That was a motion, then you did make a motion.
Chris didn't make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Chris, second by Tom to approve resolution 2026-01-28, recommending conditional approval of the preliminary plat for Kennedy Hill, second edition. Is there any discussion?
That there are no development rights on this one, then.
No.
And future maps will all show outlot being number 3.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
This to the board Monday night. Last year, it's gonna be tough to get a resolution.
I don't think we need anything from my perspective between now and board action. So it'd just be a matter of taking a resolution and adapting it for the board.
Steve, you want to try to, I don't know, I did give the attorney a heads up, but I haven't had a confirmation from him that he can get it done that quick, so I guess we'll talk about that tomorrow, and let Cory know.
Fine. Last item on the agenda. Is there a second? Motion by Troy, second by Gary to adjourn. No discussion needed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Better now.
It could have been your day. No, it was good. I wanted to put it together.
Anyway.
What do you think?